Lindsay from the Three Rivers Health Department, and she's gonna answer some questions and show us how to use the mask properly and why we should use the mask.
Perfect.
So, there's all sorts of masks,
Right.
and you're wearing a disposable mask, and I've got a cloth mask on. I've got another cloth mask. This mask has pleats, like yours, but this one doesn't. This one is just cloth. Can you tell us why it's pleated, or the proper way to put a mask on? And
Right, yeah, so the pleated masks are gonna help that you can expand it out. It really covers your full face. We wanna be sure we're covering from the nose all the way down to the chin, covering that whole area. The big thing with these disposable surgical masks, usually they're this fun surgical blue color, but there's some other ones too, but always want the colored side facing out. Some of the kids' masks have fun designs and such, but always colored or designed side out, white side on the inside. There's gonna be a top and a bottom to these masks. The top has a piece of metal in it. That's gonna go over your nose. And when you put it over your nose, you wanna pinch it nice and tight around that nose. That's gonna help so there's not a big gap between your eyes. For those of you who have glasses, that is gonna help so your glasses don't fog up as much either. So you wanna be sure that you're getting that part pinched down. The mask should always be covering your full face, so nose to chin. We don't want it down below the nose, down below on the chin, always covering the full area. The biggest thing, which is really tough, is to not be touching your mask all the time. Once you get it on, once it's adjusted, wash your hands and stop touching it. If you do need to take it on or off, the biggest thing is to try to not touch either the fabric part or these ones, just the material part in the front, to always use your strings. So pulling it on and off just by those strings, so you're not touching the surface of the mask. If it has germs on there, that's the whole point of the mask, is to capture those, so you don't want those getting on your hands. If you do have to be taking the mask on and off, we do also recommend that you're washing your hands afterwards. So if you would have gotten any of those germs on your hands, you're cleaning them off before touching other things.
I never even thought about that.
Yep, so the big thing is really using those strings. That's why they're there, to pull it on and off rather than touching the whole mask itself.
Now, I've seen some people will have a band that can go behind, that they'll hook the things on a band. Is that acceptable?
Yep, absolutely. So the big thing with that band is sometimes these strings get a little sore on the back of your ears if you're having to wear it all day. It can hurt your ears. So those bands really just pull this back so you're not getting that pressure on the back of your ears. As long as it's still tight against your face, that is totally acceptable. A lot of healthcare workers use it because they're wearing a mask for 12 hours of the day, and it can get really uncomfortable.
Right, and that can just be made out of anything.
Yep, whatever
Not
works.
a
There's
piece of
some
elastic
plastic
or-
ones, there's some fabric ones that have buttons, totally whatever makes sense for you there. Yep, we just need to be sure that that mask is still really covering the full front of your face.
Okay, and and why is it important for us to wear the mask?
Yeah, the masks are gonna be really important to stop the transmission of coronavirus. So it's mostly transmitted in the droplets that come out of your mouth, and that can happen not just when you're sneezing or coughing, but definitely when you're sneezing and coughing, but also just when we're talking to one another. There's some stuff that's coming out of our mouths, little droplets. The mask is gonna capture all of those, so if somebody's sick, those aren't getting into the air and we're not breathing that air in. So that's why it's really important that people are having their masks on.
And so I've heard say that the mask doesn't protect me from getting it, but me wearing the mask protects you if I maybe have it. Is
Right.
that how that works?
Yep, that's the main concept behind the mask, is that if I have the coronavirus and I'm making little droplets that have that virus in there, it's getting captured in my mask, so it's not going to reach you. We know there are a lot of people who are asymptomatic and might be carriers of this illness. So even if you're feeling healthy and well, you might have that virus and be able to spread it to others. So if everybody's wearing their mask, we're gonna really see a reduction in the transmission of this illness.
Okay, so for all you kids starting back to school on Tuesday, you've all been given a mask, or you will be given a mask. It's gonna be very, very important that you always keep your mask up over your nose and down past your chin, okay? And we'll figure out some way that, my cloth mask doesn't have that little wire, and sometimes it does go up and fog up my glasses, but is it acceptable to put something on the inside of your mask?
Yeah, so
To-
I've heard some people say that some of that tape like you would use if you got a cut or something on your hand, that kind of medical tape underneath there can help to make sure that you don't get your glasses fogged up. So there's some tips and tricks out there on YouTube on how to, you know, if you're someone who wears glasses, to not get that fog up, because you do gotta be able to see in class as well.
Yeah,
So-
and I just wasn't sure whether
Yep,
that,
that's okay, as long as
stops
it's,
the effectiveness of the mask.
nope, as long as the mask is still covering the whole area it needs to be. And then the other thing we didn't talk about is washing your mask. So
Oh, yes, how often should the mask be washed?
you should wash it every day if you can. So having a few masks at home is gonna be good. You wear one to school for the day, bring it home and throw it in the laundry.
Okay,
So getting those washed frequently is also gonna help.
and the disposable mask, how long do you wear them?
They are a one use is really ideal, that we're not wearing these over and over again. If you have to, be sure you're leaving it out where it can air out dry, and then wearing it again the next day. But don't be touching it, don't put it where it's gonna touch other things.
Don't carry it in my bag?
Don't carry it in your bag. So we really wanna make sure those masks are getting clean, because the whole idea is that they're capturing the virus.
the
So we don't want it
viruses.
touching all kinds of other stuff that you're also gonna be touching.
Okay, well, I do thank you for your time today, elbow bump.
Yeah,
There you
thanks
go.
for coming in.
No high fives at school, elbow bumps. Okay, thank you guys.